What's up, everybody? So I want to take a little while, well, a minute, to kind of discuss what's going on with Steve Ditko and Disney. Um, and this is going to be the first of many episodes of Artist Survival Tactics, where I go over different things that new artists should do to protect themselves and also protect the client. Whenever you do work for hire or whenever you're doing your own thing and you don't want it to fall into the wrong hands, and also to make sure that you get paid for the work that you do and people don't come to you with the do this for publicity type of thing, which we're all familiar with. So in this episode, I want to cover what's going on with Steve Ditko and all the creators that Marvel, DC, and other companies like 2000 AD, and how they. I'm going to use this term, and some of you are going to have a problem with it, but outright stole these creations, and I'm going to explain why I'm using that term "stole" these creations. When I was much younger and I was starting out in the art field. I've been in the art field for a while, dude. But I remember one of the companies I worked for. We had a contract with Walmart at the time, and we had to come up with so many designs, and I actually cut my teeth in advertising. That's why I'm quick, and I don't have a problem with knocking out work and making changes to it. But anyway, we had a contract with Walmart, and we were told straight up, I need 5 designs from each of y'all by tomorrow, and if you can't do it, don't come to work. And that was it. If you couldn't produce, you don't come in. Well, we all came through. We put in the time, we worked all night, and we came through with 5 designs each. Not all of them were accepted, but we made sure to put everything we could into these pieces. I think out of the 5 I did, I think 3 were accepted, which is really, really good. Now, the problem came in. The problem was that the company had to pay us for overtime for working on these designs. They wanted to negotiate. They wanted to do all this kind of crap, and we didn't. We're like, no, that wasn't the deal. You're not just paying for the ones that were accepted. You have to pay for all 5, and blah blah blah. We weren't independent contractors. We were employees. We were working on the clock. We actually had a punch a time clock. And so what eventually happened was they paid, but they wanted to make sure that all the designs were copyright free. We wouldn't come back at them if they were super successful and try to get more money for the artwork that we did. So what they did was they did one of the sleaziest tactics I've ever seen before in my life, and I thought I was the first one to have to deal with this crap. If we wanted our paychecks, we had to sign off on all those designs. So payday comes around, and they're sitting there. If you didn't sign your form, you never got paid. And they were completely down with you going to, the employment offices or whatever and complaining. It was ridiculous. But then I was watching a 2000 AD video, and I was listening to documentaries with about old Marvel, old DC, and that's how they got when with 2000 AD, when you endorsed the back of your paycheck, the back of your paycheck had a contract that said that once you sign this check, you release, you have no legal attachments to these characters or the artwork or anything at that point. And it was, you gotta figure, like in Ditko's Tom, in Kirby's Tom, like they could get away with this shit because there was no internet. There was no, like, it wasn't like information was distributed at the drop of a hat within seconds after shit like this went down. You know, it was like these companies got away with taking these creators to the cleaners because they knew they had to eat. They had to feed their families. And Kirby, I mean, you guys have seen like all the documentaries about Kirby. Kirby was all about family. Like he only cared about taking care of his family. That's why he worked so hard. That's why he was so fast. That's why he joined the fucking army, you know, to fight the Nazis. Because he was all about, he was a man. He was a real man. He was all about protecting his family and making sure that they had food on the table. And straight up, I don't know a lot about Ditko, but I know Ditko was robbed. And this is going to piss a lot of people off, but I'm not a big Stan Lee fan. Like, I don't think he was a great writer. I don't think he was, I mean, he basically made his bones off the backs of all of these creators. And that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. So now that we went over that, and I think I made my case pretty good as far as why these creators were taken to the cleaners. And they were ripped off. They were straight the fuck up ripped off. I have to, I want to give you guys some advice on creating characters for other people and how to do it in a way where it's fair. Whenever I create characters for other people, I don't do it a lot anymore. Like, I don't. I just, I'd rather just do it myself, you know, like, you know, and like if I come up with a character design, it goes into a file, and when I want to introduce them, I introduce them in one of my own creations. But I have created characters before, like in a recent past, for people that I have a lot of respect for. And the way I go about it is I make sure to charge enough to where I don't feel like I've been ripped off. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to create a character for somebody, you know, it's an indie comic, you know, it's not like Marvel or DC or anything like that. Just to do the character sketch, to design the character, it's $500 right off the bat. And I stipulate in that once I create this character, my name, if anything happens with it, it becomes like great or whatever, my name has to go with the character, which means every time that character's printed or used in any type of media, it's created by Preston Acevedo. You see what I'm saying? Like, and, I mean, but that's just me. You know, like in the modern day, I don't think you have to, like, be victim to these creepy little scumbag tactics that corporations used to use in the past. I don't think they can actually get away with it now, to be honest, because fucking you put them on blast, that's it, dude. Like, people will fucking protest that shit. That shit'll be shut down in a minute. But I wouldn't put it past them to try that shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's one way to protect yourself, is to charge enough to where you don't feel like you're being taken to the cleaners, you know? And with our field in comics and in art in general, like your portfolio, well, your education is judged by your portfolio. Like, it doesn't matter how many degrees you have behind your name. If you can't draw, paint, or, you know, if you're not quick on the draw, you know, and fucking get that shit out, nobody wants to have anything to do with you, you know? And, like, I think they would, like, I mean, every time I dealt with a customer and I told them, like, hey, I'll be this much, there's no negotiation, you know? And if there was, then I'll walk away. I got more than enough work to keep me busy, you know? And, that's, you know, just just keep that in mind. Like, you don't have to be a victim. Like, you hold all the cards. You're the artist. They came to you for a reason, you know. With, for example, Frank Frazetta, back in those days when they were like, hey, sign this paycheck and you release all your obligation. No, Frank Frazetta was straight the fuck up. Frank Frazetta was another real man. He didn't bow down to these bullying tactics. Like, it's said that Frank Frazetta, it was almost a sickness with him that he had to keep his original art, you know, like, and that's another thing too. I think, in my opinion, I think Frank Frazetta was one of the pioneers of licensing out artwork. Like, he wouldn't just create a painting, you know, like, he would keep all the rights to that painting and tell these book companies or, you know, novel publishers or whatever. He'd be like, yeah, you want to use it as a cover? Go ahead. But, you know, you don't have the rights to this. Like, you can use it for a fee, but I retain full rights to this, and I can resell it if I want. That's why Frank Frazetta, I think that's why he's so known. That's why his family is well off. Like, they don't, because he never bowed down to that. And then that's another thing too. Like, Frank was all about supporting his family. You know, that's why he was quick. But yeah, I mean, I just want to put that out there. Like, you guys, you know, read your contracts. I know, like, I've been through a few situations where the contract was just bogged down with lawyer talk, right? And what I would do is I would go through and just rewrite the contract and be like, no, dude, like, keep it simple. Keep it simple to where you and the customer both understand what's going on. Don't just sign anything because you just want to do it, because it's such an attractive project that you really want your name on it, you know. I mean, have a little bit of integrity when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, I understand you have to eat, you have to work, but I think it's easier now for an artist to make money than it's ever been since, you know, I mean, especially for those guys in a silver age and a golden age. Like, I mean, there was more comic work available, but I mean, with the internet, I mean, you can get a commission at the drop of a hat if you're any good. I mean, it's not that hard to sell or get commissions and stuff like that. Yes, it's good to get these prestige projects, but, you know, I mean, it's a trap. Don't fall into the trap. Learn by example, you know, like, fucking, and just keep that in mind. And, you know, I'm going to be planning out the next episode. If you like what I'm saying, like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And you guys be sweet, stay wicked. And I'll talk